Good
Hi.
morning, everyone. I'm
Good
so
morning.
happy to be here with you girls. How are you?
Oh, we're so festive today. We didn't even plan this at all.
It makes it
The-
nice when you go with the traditional red and green. So this worked out perfect. We have our girl Kara in the middle and Anna and I wearing our red. My shirt says joy,
I
Kara.
love
oh,
it.
I love it.
Yes. One of my favorite words. How are you, ladies? I've missed seeing you over the last few weeks, but I know we all had some good special holiday time with our families. Anna, how are you?
I'm so happy to be here with you, sharing this morning with two of my most favorite persons. Hi, everyone. I'm Ana Galena. I'm one of the co hosts of this Flowers and Friends talk show where we get to talk about flowers with some really good friends. I'm a floral designer, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a special flower centerpiece for Christmas. I'm going to be sharing some really good tips on how to use cut poinsettias, for example, how to
Ooh,
make your carnations
Awesome.
fluffier,
okay.
how to use some of your antiques you might have from your grandmother or from an antique store. So stick around. How are
I
you, Sarah?
love it. So I have actually never used poinsettias in a flower arrangement. So I'm really excited to hear
Yes.
and see what you're going to do with that today.
Me too. Me too.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kara Jameson. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Flowers and Friends talk show. I am a cut flower grower, and I love to just talk about all things cut flower growing. And I'm excited to be back this week. Today, I'm going to talk all about growing
Ooh,
amaryllis.
yes, I love those.
Ooh, and I want to know in the
Beautiful.
comments who has grown an amaryllis and who has never heard of it, never grown one before. I just want to know.
Well, I am one of those people who have not. So let me just
Uh-huh.
tell you, I have been gifted an amaryllis before, and I always see them. They're beautiful. I actually practiced a little bit last night in honor of you, a little bit of watercolor. Um, Welcome, everybody. I'm so glad you're here with us today for our holiday special. I'm Dionne Woods, owner and artist of the Turquoise Iris, and I'm the lucky expert here on Bloom TV that gets to hang out with Kara and Anna every single week for Flowers and Friends. So as you come in, let us know you're here. What are some of your favorite holiday traditions and what are you working on? I have several wreath paintings back here behind me. I'm going to show you a really simple way that you can make something very similar to this by just using some random colors, whatever you have, and different brushes, different techniques. But I think we're going to have a really fun time today. I had something really fun this week that I'm excited to kind of pop on here, you all. So
Yes.
those of you that follow us know that we have collaborated with Where Women Create, and I got to be the featured artist in this winter
Yay!
issue.
Congratulations.
Yes, this is so exciting. I'm so happy for you, Dion.
I'm telling you, you know me, you know I'm a crier, but it was hard not to get emotional this time of the year, and being able to have photographs of, you know, my son's girlfriend. It was a very wow moment, surreal, because I love the What Women Create and the Where Women Create magazines. I have learned so much, just not only from publishing my own magazine, but from the creatives in here. And I'm inspired by the studios that Where Women Create shares. And I just wanted to show you guys, this is available now. The winter issue is available on newsstands such as Whole Foods, Target, Michael's, and they put me in here with my dresses. I started painting
Oh,
on
let's
dresses,
see.
and
Show us. Show
all
us.
right,
Show
all right, all right. You guys are so
us.
supportive, and I appreciate you. So, right here, there's a 12-page spread,
Oh,
and
wow.
as you can see with Bloom TV
Uh-huh.
supporting this, there is we go through here and see kind of my process.
Uh-huh.
I give you some step-by-steps, the products that I use, and I've done different styles. Now I've actually adhered some flowers to the dresses and tried to make them all unique. And the idea of having a group of women actually wear the dresses and possibly even to their wedding. I mean, that's kind of how I imagined it, but I think you could even do it to a summer garden party or a prom. But it's been fun. that is available right now for you to actually watch the video on Bloom TV Network. And we loaded a couple of little clips, so you get a little bit of a preview that we're going to show for you now. So
Yay, let's
take
watch.
a look. Okay.
My journey of creativity, I'm giving myself permission to come out of the corner and do the dance, to really live, not just be alive and breathing, but to really live my life. And I'm having fun.
Oh,
Video is so beautiful. I mean, I cried seeing it.
Oh,
It's so exciting. I feel so happy that you got this opportunity, but mostly, I mean, everything you're sharing with us is so inspiring. Guys, go
Thank
see
you.
it. It's free on bloomtvnetwork.com. We
Yeah.
have another 2 more videos from What Women Create, but Dionne's video is so fabulous.
yeah.
Well, it was a really special treat. And of course, I want to thank Bloom TV and What Women Create for giving me such an opportunity to tell my story. But that's really what you get on Bloom TV. People tell their stories. They invite you into their homes and their workspaces. And there are hundreds of videos and new ones loading every single week. So I'm really honored to be a part of that. Thank you so much to everybody who collaborated on that. And thank you, ladies, for letting me share that with you today.
Absolutely.
Anna?
Do we have a second video though? Was there
Yes.
more? Like,
Oh
This
my
is everyone.
gosh.
Let's hear a little more.
Okay.
I made a commitment to myself not too long ago that if I had an opportunity come my way, I would say yes. Whereas in the past, it felt like fear was determining my decisions. And fear no longer lives here. It no longer lives in my heart. It no longer lives here.
I love those words because I think often all of us can be fearful about whatever it is in life. And I love that you have just let that go and you were going for it. And boy, you are soaring too because you've let it go. I love it.
I'm having so much more fun. I mean, who knew I'd have an opportunity to skate with a drone? But on top of that, just I'm having a lot more fun. And I meant what I said in the video, that I never really felt like I was the fun person or even really knew how to have fun. Isn't that silly when you're not even sure how to have fun? And I would surround myself with people that knew how to, so I was learning from them. But I don't know, it's just one of those things. It was really a beautiful experience. Thank you. Lulu, I see you, my friend. We're reading your comments, and I'm grateful for all of you who have watched that. And if you haven't seen it yet on Bloom TV Network, you can go straight to Just Released, and it's there. Now, Anna, you're setting up for something very special. So what's going on in the holidays at your home?
Okay, so tomorrow, well, first of all, I want to thank all of our viewers. We have so many viewers this morning. I'm going to go really fast in Spanish because I see a lot of people in Spanish. Hola a todos. Gracias por estar aquí. Todos los quiero. Okay, so now back. Okay, so I'm hosting a dinner party tomorrow, a Christmas dinner party. And, well, I have this beautiful antique champagne glasses that they were my grandmother's. And I only have 3.
Okay.
And it's usually whenever I'm hosting a party, it's more than 10 people. So I hardly ever get to use this. So I thought, since we're going to be eating in my dining room, and you know how there's not that much space because you have the glasses, you have the candles, you have so many things going on. So you need something small, but flowers are always a must for me. So I'm going to be putting 3 of these glasses, and they're going to bring height to the flowers, but not that much that you just cannot see anymore. Okay. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do this. So I have some chicken wire. Why? Because chicken wire always helps with the stems of your flowers. So they won't fall that easy. And since we don't have that much height, I mean, this is a tiny vase. So chicken wire works perfect. I'm gonna put a little bit of the of this tape, floral tape, and I hate it. I never.
Can't find
I
the end
know.
of it. I know what you mean.
Find.
I know what you
Okay.
mean. And I love that you're including an heirloom piece into this. That, with them being your grandmother's, I call that an heirloom piece. And I love that this is inclusive in there.
Oh, and something else is that I live in what used to be my grandmother's house. So
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know that.
That's
Oh.
very special.
So I'm only putting a little bit, and I want to show. Can you see
Okay.
it?
Yep.
Kind of.
Put it in there, tape it down.
I'm gonna add a little bit of Spanish moss. Why? Because it helps the stems stick better, and also it helps with the water not spilling so much.
Okay.
This is a trick I love to do, and water won't easily spill, even if I'm in my house. Another thing that is so important and that a lot of people sometimes skip this part or do it afterwards. Remember, whenever you're doing flowers, you need to put water first, not after you're done with the arrangement. A lot of people doesn't put the water because they don't want it to spill or anything like that, and they put it just as they are setting up. But remember, your flowers only drink water through the stem, and it takes just 1 minute for the stem to close, and then they're not going to drink any water, and then they're not going to last a long time. So that is really, really important. Always put your water before, and always cut your stems as you're using them. I have here my favorite Christmas foliage is cedar pine. Can you see it?
Yeah,
Because
cedar pine.
It's so fluffy. It's so
Fluffy.
fancy. It's fun, and it lasts a long time. I know most pine different greens last a long time, but I like cedar, and it smells beautiful. And I also have some seeded eucalyptus because
yeah,
I love that, Anna.
So what I'm gonna do, I always start my flower arrangements with adding the foliage to make like the structure of my arrangement, give it the shape, and then I fill it with flowers. So this is gonna be loose like I told you, see? So I'm gonna go to one of the sides, and this is the fun because I have my chicken wire, the stems hold in their place.
Yeah. I cannot wait to see this. I never would have thought to arrange in a beautiful glass like that.
Yeah, I haven't either. Did you wrap that chicken wire? If I saw it correctly, it was in a ball?
Yes, I just made a small, like a ball.
But how did you hold it together?
What?
You just hooked it together like with something, like you wrapped it and then hooked it together in one space or something? Or it just folds? I've never used it. Sorry.
Oh, really? Yes, it just folds because of
it
the
just
wire.
folds and stays. Okay.
It's so easy. But one thing is, always put on some gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because
good tip.
It really hurts.
It does hurt.
Okay, y'all have done that. Good tip.
While I keep putting my foliage, and why don't we go to you, Dionne? And then later when I return, I'm going to show you how to use your poinsettias and your carnations. Okay. So.
Oh my goodness. Perfect. I would love to show you. Every year my family gets together for like a holiday, and they still do Dirty Santa. Does anybody still do Dirty Santa in the comments? A lot of people love to do that, but it's hard to buy for every single person. So every year I try to give away one of my paintings to whoever gets my gifts. My mom thinks it's funny because there's always this little like, which one did Dionne bring? Which makes me feel so appreciated. But I thought I might do a wreath painting this year. So I've done 3 so far. I have a blank canvas today, and I'm going to show you some really simple techniques where you also could do a painting. And I thought, it's hard to pick out something that everybody's going to like, but most people love something new for the holidays. So it's kind of more universal in most homes and things like that. So a couple of ones I've done recently. What I loved the most about this one's a little bit more abstract, right, Kara? Like you can
I
look at
love
this and go,
that one. The paint.
okay, so I put gold on the background of this. This was turquoise. And then I put a wash of gold over it. But what I ended up loving about this was the way I loaded my brush, which I used a wider brush. This was 1.5 inch. This is my shortstop. And I loaded my white and red side by side. So it ended up looking like a candy cane, but that wasn't even my intention. I realized that where the brush strokes, the white and the red kind of reminds me of a candy cane. I start with the darkest color, and I'm going to show you that here in just 1 second. This was one I did, and then as you can see, the one behind me has more of a red. It actually has a lot of pink in it as well. Then this one I added more turquoise, and this one has more green, and you can't go wrong. Just pick your favorite colors, get multiple sizes of brushes, so all of your brush strokes are random and different. So it's just a little bit more if you have more contrast. So when you pick out colors, I want you to do some that are more intense and dark, and then I want you to do some that are more bright. So for example, I have this bright green, but I've also paired it with a deep sap green side by side. So you have that constant contrast going back and forth. So I loaded neon pink and red for this one. All right, I'm going to push my computer back just a few inches so you can see a little bit more of my canvas.
So when you say loaded, do you mean you squeeze them both into a little dish and you swirl your paintbrush around?
I've got all these colors. So when I say loaded, right, I'm pulling the paint off of my palette and I'm using my brush, and I'm loading the paint onto my brush. So I like to have, every time I make a dip in my paint, I like to have at least 2 colors loaded onto my brush. So with every stroke, there's more than one color being left on my canvas. It's just, in my opinion, it's a little bit more interesting, and it helps your paintings from being less flat. So I'm going to start with the darkest color. We're going to do a random circle. Anybody can do this. And I'm starting with a color that's a deep navy. It's called Payne's gray, excuse me. So you see that, Kara, that I have it only on half of my brush right now? Okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the green beside it, my deepest green. And I'm going to load both of them side by side on my brush like this.
All right.
Okay. All right. So we're just going to make strokes going back and forth in like a crisscross pattern. Okay. And we're going to start dark and then just keep loading the color. And you want it, you want one sprig going out here, and you want one sprig here, and just really organic and natural looking. And they can be as abstract as you'd like. And I think you could do this with your littles if you wanted, but I know I would love to receive any type of new holiday decor that I could bring out every single year. And it would remind me of my holidays with my family. But what you see, example, see how the dark, this is the exact same thing I did in this one. The exact same style. So I'm working that dark and the green in there first. And then as I build upon my colors with smaller brushes, which would be a 1-inch flat or an angled brush, I'm getting brighter colors and moving to a smaller brush. So there's a lot of contrast, and I think it just makes a lot more interesting as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's that. And I'm going to keep working this around my canvas and just keep going. And if you guys don't mind, when Kara pops on here and starts telling us about Amaryllis, I'm going to keep painting. That way I can show you how far and how much you can get painted. All right. So let's.
Absolutely.
All right. Let's do that. And then Kara, I have been watching you on Instagram, and you are all into Amaryllis right now. So please teach me all your ways.
Yes, I love to grow Amaryllis every winter. You know, when the garden has gone to sleep for the winter, it's just fun to grow them indoors. And let me show you really quick. If you've never seen an Amaryllis flower, let me show you a photo of what one looks like.
Please. That's a good idea.
Yeah, there we go, right there. So as you can see me on the left, an Amaryllis flower is like as big as my face right there.
Wow.
Yeah, they are so fun to grow. And so they're typically grown indoors this time of year. They're actually a tropical bulb, and I have some examples of bulbs to show you right here.
Oh, those are huge.
They are absolutely huge. And you can see there is definitely a size difference in Amaryllis. And what that means is the bigger the bulb, the more and bigger blooms you will get. Yeah, so this bulb right here is the biggest Amaryllis bulb that you can buy.
Wow.
And this one will have 3 to 4 Amaryllis stems come out. And get this, each flower that's on those stems, there's 4 flowers per stem. So if we have 3 stems and 4 flowers per stem, you're going to have 12 flowers. So it's such a show with Amaryllis. And Amaryllis are typically from South America. And so we have an opposite growing season from them. So when it is winter here, it is summer there. And so when they harvest the bulbs and they send them to us in the fall, that's why they're kind of leaping and ready to get out of the bulb, is because they've already gone through their summer. They've gone through a sleeping period, a dormancy period, and they're ready to come out again and grow, much like our perennials do in the spring here. There are a few things that you need to know about Amaryllis bulbs.
Okay.
Most bulbs, you actually cover the whole thing with soil. Let's see, Kara, if they are tropical, could I keep them outside year round here in Florida? Yes, actually, I believe my friend Sue, who's from Florida, I believe she kept them outside most of the time. They cannot stay in temperatures below freezing. It will kill the bulb. So just keep that in mind. I'm not exactly sure how low
Also,
to get
in California, the same thing. My mom has a big planter, and well, they come out every year and they multiply, but I mean, we don't have freezing temperature, so right here they can be outside.
Yes, yeah. There's actually a point where I put them outside. I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But Amaryllis are definitely different because you don't, unlike tulips and daffodils where you completely cover the bulb with dirt, you actually only plant a third of the bulb right here. And I have a example, although you can't see it the best because I've covered the pot with dried flowers. But I only have a third of the bulb planted in this pot, and the rest of the bulb is totally exposed. And the reason that is if you were to cover the whole bulb, it might rot because there could be too much moisture in the soil. And I only water my Amaryllis bulbs at minimum weekly, and I only water like a sparing amount. Like we're talking half a cup. But a lot of the times I go about 3 weeks before I even water them because too much water can kill an Amaryllis bulb, basically.
Okay.
You don't want your Amaryllis bulb to stay in wet soil because it'll mold and it will rot. And so I just use regular potting soil whenever I pot up my Amaryllis bulb. I like to use pots that have drainage holes in them, but you don't have to because you're watering them so infrequently. And then when you pot an Amaryllis bulb up, it depends upon what part of the world that the Amaryllis bulb is from. If it's a southern hemisphere bulb, meaning like is it from Brazil, Peru, or is it a northern hemisphere bulb, meaning is it from like the Netherlands? And why that's important is our southern hemisphere bulbs are from, the opposite growing region. So when we get them here in the United States, they're ready to fly out of the bulb, just like this one is. But some other bulbs that are from the northern hemisphere, they can take 8 to 12 weeks to bloom. So I know I've had some people on Instagram. I do an Amaryllis watch every day of showing my Amaryllis
Yes.
planters.
I've
And
been watching.
yeah, yeah. And mine are growing very rapidly. And I've had some people ask me, hey, my bulbs aren't growing at all yet. And I'm like, that's totally normal. I have one bulb behind me, this one right here. It's called Rylona, and it's a beautiful peach one. She takes a full 12 weeks to bloom. And I've had her potted up for about 6 weeks now, and I still am seeing nothing. And I know that's totally normal. Every bulb blooms in its own time. You just have to remember that with Amaryllis bulbs. And Amaryllis, typically the flower heads emerge first, which these are all flower stems right here. And then the leaves come after. But sometimes the leaves can come first too. I have some bulbs doing that. But typically the flowers bloom first and then the leaves come after. Once the leaves, Kara, I'd love a lesson in Southern Hemisphere bulbs since they would do so well here. They do. It's just the type of variety. A lot of times on websites when you're buying the bulbs, it'll say maybe the origin of where the bulb is from. And that just means that they're going to bloom a lot more quickly for you, about 4 to 6 weeks.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, she's in. So that last question came from Shelly, and I know she's in Florida.
Uh-huh.
And she has a greenhouse there too. So that would be a really fun thing, right, Shelly? I think we definitely would learn a lot more. Like I've never had one in my home.
Uh-huh.
I've been given one, and I'm almost sure, I'm positive I overwatered it, Kara. I didn't realize that. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's the number one way to hurt an Amaryllis bulb or to kill it is to overwater it, kind of thing.
Of course.
How do you know where they're from? It will say on some websites, it will tell you like what part of the world that they're from. If you're buying them from a big box store, it may not tell you on a package. Sometimes it will tell you the variety name, and just do a quick Google search of, hey, where is Mandela? That is actually this one right here. It's a beautiful red one. What part of the world is Mandela from? And you'll find the information there. So once your Amaryllis flowers bloom, the flowers will start to die off, and you just snip the stem off at the bottom of the bulb. Not every flower stem comes at the same time. Sometimes one stem emerges, blooms, and it's done, and then the second one is coming. So you really could have blooms for several weeks with Amaryllis bulbs. I actually have blooms for a full 12 weeks with Amaryllis because I have so many different varieties. I have the earlier blooming ones, the Southern Hemisphere ones, and then I have the Northern Hemisphere ones that take about 12 weeks to bloom. So you really can have an indoor garden all year long. And I wanted to show you guys real quick. One of the things that I have loved doing with my Amaryllis, I started doing it last year, was using dried flowers to decorate my planters, which I had never seen done before. Usually you decorate with moss, which I love to do that too. But I had dried some special flowers from my gardens, and one day it just popped in my head, hey, let's decorate your planters with those. And I find that I can water just around the flowers, or I may scoot them away. And I've also just watered the flowers too, and it hasn't hurt them at all. Because like I said, you water Amaryllis so infrequently, I didn't find that it hurt them at all. So let's play a video real quick of what behind me. These are all Amaryllis behind me. This is an electric fireplace, and I always
So nice.
I always set up a little Amaryllis watch area every year, and you can see I've got one growing right there. And it's just fun to watch. I mostly post it on Instagram, and
That's so fun, Kara. It's so fun that you have, like, I'm so in the spirit by just looking at all of that back there behind you. It's beautiful. So cozy.
I love it. It's so fun. So let's play that video right now of what my dried floral Amaryllis look like.
Perfect.
Oh, okay. I put a clip I don't know if the clip froze for you guys. It froze on my
No,
end.
it went perfect in my end.
Oh, did it?
I saw
Okay.
it. Yeah, it was perfect on my end
Okay,
too.
it kind of froze on my end. So, good. I'm glad you guys saw it. So, I just thought it was fun to decorate my planters with these dried flowers to give the pots some character and something to look at, since some of these can take several weeks to even grow. Like this particular one right here, I've had it planted for over a month now, and we're just right here. So,
Wow.
it takes a little time to grow.
I have
Amaryllis.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, my mother-in-law got an amaryllis bulb about 3 weeks ago, and she was told, I mean, but it was, I don't know, it was really funny because she was told not to water it. So she just put it in the kitchen on a plate, and it's been blooming so beautifully.
Well,
So
so yeah, like this one right here, this one has not even been potted up yet, and you can see that the flowers are emerging out of it. Um, there now, here's a question: the amaryllis that your mom has, was the bulb coated in wax?
yes.
Yes, yeah,
What's that?
yeah. It's just wax, and yeah, amaryllis can bloom just like that with no water. That's a common thing to find in stores these days is wax coated bulbs. The thing with wax coated bulbs is it takes so much energy for this bulb to bloom without water and without soil that you really kind of have to pitch the bulb after. Whereas this one, if potted up in a
Okay.
pot and grown in soil, you can grow this bulb year after year after year.
Okay, yes. Well, it's been fun because I
Yeah.
think she got it like 3 or 4 weeks ago, and there was nothing, and it's been
Uh-huh.
blooming. And you know what I love? I love my mother-in-law's reaction to it.
Uh-huh.
So happy every day. She's like, Anna, there's a new bloom coming, and
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah. Yeah. I have people tell me on Instagram, they were like, Kara, I'm so jealous of watching yours every day. I had to go get an amaryllis so I could do it too.
Yes.
It's fun. It is fun. Anna, let's see what you have going on with your arrangement.
Okay, so I already added some foliage.
Uh-huh.
It was mostly my cedar. I have some holly here, which is another Christmas favorite. Can you see it?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes, I
And the
love it.
seeded eucalyptus. So now, if I have it like this, I can just add flowers. That's what I like to do. Get like the structure, the form, and then just add the flowers. And another thing, I made two. They don't need to be exactly the same. I mean, nature is hardly ever the same. So just play with them. They're going to be like this
Beautiful.
far apart, and I'll put candles in between. So just have fun while doing this. I'm going to show you how to open your carnations. Okay.
I love how much texture is
Yes.
involved because it's not
Mhm.
like, hey, look at all these different colors. It's that
Mhm.
texture that really just makes me want to touch it.
Mhm.
Exactly. And well, a quick tip. The cedar. A lot of people are like, where do you find such small stems? And I'm like, no. You need, I mean, you have, it usually is this big. So I will be cutting from the main stem,
Mhm.
smaller stems,
Mhm.
and look at it and see, okay, I want this to be this big or stuff like that. But you need to pay attention to the form of your stem and see, like, okay, I want height, I want filler. So from a stem, you get a lot of small pieces, okay? And then first, carnations. I really love carnations because they last a long time and they are good fillers. They give contrast in your
Mhm.
flower arrangements,
Mhm.
but they are usually very tight. You can see, I mean, sometimes they're as tight as this.
Uh-huh.
You can see perfect, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this technique, for me, I only do it with carnations because I know it doesn't harm them. I know I'm not cutting their life. When you force other flowers to open, you actually cut their lifespan. I
No
mean,
way. I didn't know
force
that.
a rose to open, you'll give it like 2 days of life instead of letting it bloom. But with carnations, it doesn't matter. So what you do is you start squeezing this part very softly so it softens. And once it's softened, you just kindly open
Gently,
petals,
kindly,
kindly,
encouraging, and yeah, I love that.
lovingly.
Yeah. I love this
And then,
tip. I did not know this tip.
and then you have an open flower as opposed to a
Oh,
small.
okay. Now I want to go buy some carnations at the store and try this.
And even with this one, you just have to gently do it because otherwise you will kill the flower. It's just a gentle massage to
It
the flower.
reminds me of Kara's marshmallow technique, ladies.
Uh-huh. So, and then you're ready to use it because unlike other flowers, I mean, carnations take a really long time to open. And when they open by themselves, they will last a really short time.
Uh-huh.
So if you do this and you open them, you're not harming them. I have years of experience.
Uh-huh.
They still will last the 2 weeks or the 3 weeks they were supposed to last. You're
Okay.
not harming them. And you get to enjoy the flower as it is supposed to be. And now poinsettias.
Uh-huh.
So I have a really small flower arrangement and I have big poinsettias here, but I also have tiny poinsettias.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna take from the main stem one of the tiny carnations.
Okay.
And this is what you do. I'm removing the leaves. You get a candle or fire or whatever, and you just burn this. You see the milk that's coming out? I know
Yeah.
for
Uh-huh.
that. So you just burn it, and it will make like, like fireworks.
Oh,
So I don't know in English what the words are, but it's like
You're searing the end.
exactly. And once it's completely black, okay, before you do this, you have to cut it in the length you need it. Okay?
Okay.
Because you cannot do this and then cut it. So once you seal it, you just have your flower arrangement. I like to use poinsettias in the center as a focal flower because it's a big flower, but still it's small for this arrangement.
Yeah.
So
Those are so cute.
I inserted, and there.
they're perfect. It's perfect. Really.
I'm able to use poinsettias in my flower arrangements. They will usually last around 10 to 12 days, like regular flowers.
Uh-huh.
Otherwise, if you just cut them and put them in, they're not drinking any water. I mean, they're just leaking and they don't last. Also, somebody yesterday asked me, oh, can I do that technique and use it in a garland? And it's like, oh no, they need water. They not hydrangeas. Poinsettias don't do well without water.
So even though you're searing the end, that flower is still able to suck up water.
I mean, it's drinking water. I'm sealing it, but it's drinking water.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure how the biology part and all that works, but trust me, it works.
Uh-huh.
You will have beautiful flower arrangements. They will last. You won't have to be worried about this. If you're doing this for Christmas, you can always do this 2, 3, 4 days in advance. I always like to do mine a week in advance so I can enjoy them the whole week, have a beautiful table, and I know they will be good for Christmas.
It's beautiful, Anna. Thank you so much for showing me that. It has a traditional feel, but I still feel like the way that you've displayed it and organized it, it has more of a modern look to it as well, with just the way that you pulled all the elements together and used your heirloom glass from your grandmother. That's so special. Thank you. Well, as you can see, this has come together really quickly. There's no wrong or right way. If you would rather have some red poinsettias in here, maybe you want to have some amaryllis blooms that you paint in here as well. But I just did more of, I've been incorporating a lot of pink into my own home decor for holidays this year. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my fan brush. And I'm going back to that same dark color, which is Payne's Gray. And I want to have what would appear to be kind of some cedar sprigs kind of popping out almost 3D like. And so I'm going and just lightly kind of pulling and tapping and making those little, as if the sprigs were embedded inside the wreath. And so it's really easily done with a fan brush. And I'm just tap and putting 3 in a cluster and having them kind of pop off the wreath, you guys. Don't you think you could do this, you ladies?
Oh, absolutely. I want to do some with my daughters. I think it would be fun to do a couple each year, and over time you have this beautiful wall display.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
yeah. I love that.
Yeah, and you could also, I mean, if you did do this with your daughter, you could use it on just paper, put it in a book, and she could cut out a little 5x7 painting and give them away as gift. They could be her Christmas cards to her teachers and to people at church. Like, she could do so many different things with them as well, Kara.
Love that idea.
So just really simple. Just keep it organic. The main thing I want you to take away from this is the more natural, and we don't necessarily have to think about having exactly a pink ball here with an exact pink ball there. All right. Okay. Just keeping it more random. And we now have a 4th wreath painting. That was really easy to do. You saw how little time that took me. I could keep messing with this, and I probably will later. But for now, I'm going to set that aside and just know.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Are there any questions about that and the way that I did that, or the colors or anything? Amber, thank you so much. It is kind of easy. Just keep in mind that you want a variety of colors. Pick the colors you have.
Are you using acrylic? Is that what?
I am. I'm using acrylic for that. I wanted these to be really bright. And with the acrylic, I can just put a clear gloss sealer over the painting. And I plan on giving these away on Christmas Eve to some live viewers on my channel.
You are so nice.
Yeah. Just some fun things to do. But keep in mind, have at least 3 to 4 different sizes of brushes.
Okay.
With, gosh, I think I used about a dozen colors here. Make sure you load your palette with plenty of white, because if you want that deep red, but you want to highlight with a pink, you can just add a little bit of white into that red and it keeps the same tone. Thank you, Alice. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate that. This is a wonderful holiday gift that I thought this would be something really fun to do for a Dirty Santa type gift, because it's universal, right? And you don't have to worry about whether it fits. That's always a struggle.
Yes.
Well, we have a question. It says, what paint do you use on the background?
Okay. So that's also acrylic for these. I've been using, because I wanted that bright neon. So I'm going to show you the 2 colors. This background color is actually a combination. So they're both acrylic, and one of them is Liquitex. It's a primary red, super easy, but this is fluorescent pink. And I just squirt them out of my palette side by side and just dip my brush into them and just spread that color over the entire front. This was more of a turquoise, and I had a turquoise, a cobalt, and a white, where I covered my background with that one. And the one where I added the gold, it's actually the same color background as this one. I just put gold over it. You can almost see that there's a shimmer to it. But you guys could tell this was basically just layering different widths of brushes with different colors and leaving your highlighter last, but doing the dark colors first. Okay.
Oh, love it.
I have a mini. So when we painted earlier this year at some point, and I have this little mini canvas that just has a beautiful like green background. I'm thinking I need to turn that into a wreath now, because I just had it. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. So I'm going to try that.
Oh, I want to see that.
You could try that, but you could also do what I did, and I played around with a little Amaryllis.
Right? Yeah.
Last night, when you told me you were working on them, I thought, well, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
I did one. This is the second one. I did this in about 7 minutes, because I'm giving myself a 5-minute watercolor challenge.
Yeah.
And I did this one in 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's fine. It's watercolor. It's very loose. And then I decided, let's do it once more. And this one, and I like this one a little bit better.
I totally see the Amaryllis.
Thank you.
I totally see it. I love wreaths too. I normally make fresh Christmas wreaths every year.
Yeah.
I started in my first year was 2018 when I started growing these cut flowers. And I love, like Anna has all the different textures. I love finding all those interesting and unique greenery that I can use for wreaths. So I'll just have to think about, what am I going to paint? So
Well, and you know what I also love, ladies, and for those of you that are listening, have you ever painted your gift wrap? Have you ever thought to just get the brown? We have brown rolls of paper that we use for shipping. So
Right.
I love to lay that out on my table and just paint. I mean, you could do just abstract colors. You could do, wreaths.
Yes.
Kara, you could have every one of the kids do a wreath and then wrap up that paper and, a gift for your husband that you can turn around. I mean, there's so many things you can do and get really creative with your gift wrap, which I think is what I might do in the next week or two. Yeah, absolutely. You guys, I see your comments. If you have any questions and if you will share, and we really appreciate you helping share about Bloom TV and all of our experts and all the things that we're doing to talk about flowers. Right, Anna?
Yes, I'm going to show you the finished result. Okay.
Perfect.
So I have the poinsettias. I added some ilex berries. Look at this. There's nothing more Christmas than, there's a lot of Christmas things, but ilex are like Christmas. And I added some wax buttons. You can see they add another texture. And the carnations, they just bring contrast because we have so much green, but it's like tucked in. So you can play with the different.
That's what I need on my wreath, Anna. Thank you for reminding me. I need those berries. What kind of berries did you call them?
Ilex berries.
Ilex berries. I'm going to need to do that before I actually retire this painting and say it's finished. So thank you for that reminder.
And I'll post a picture of the finished table on our Flowers and Friends Instagram. So be sure to go see it because it's going to look so beautiful. I'm using 3 different champagne glasses on the table with candles and red and a lot of red. And it's going to be a beautiful table. So I'll post the finished product.
Awesome. Awesome. Kara, will you tell everybody about our lifetime Bloom announced an amazing gift. And
Bloom TV has come out with a pretty incredible gift. They have a lifetime membership going on, buy one, gift one for $199, which means you can watch everything that's on Bloom TV for the lifetime, which is incredible. And that means no monthly reoccurring payments. And you can gift one to families or friends this holiday season. And they also have another option if you just want to do a single membership for $125. And so this is a great, unique gift, for someone that has everything. Give them the gift of this. There's just so many fun things to watch on there, including Dionne and Anna's highlights.
Thank you for that. I think and I always think of the Christmas saying, for the gift that keeps on giving, right? But like you said, for the person who has everything that really wants more experiences, that's what we know where they're going to get from Bloom TV. That's experience, right, Anna?
Definitely. It's so filled with such beautiful content. Everything's about making you happier, putting a smile in your face, great ideas, so you can have a better life, to bring more wellness into your everyday living. So yes, Bloom TV is such a beautiful streaming platform filled with joy.
Well, is it time for our sponsors? Is it that time? Are we just about done for the week?
We've had fun today, haven't we?
This was good. This was exactly what my heart needed, ladies. Thank you so very much for letting me paint with you. And we want to thank our sponsors who make Bloom TV possible. So stick around for this.
We have built the world's first flower-focused streaming network, bringing the public educational and entertaining shows that highlight the magic of flowers. Learn how to heal through flowers, cook with flowers, design your living space to reflect nature, make crafts using florals, sustainably garden, and so much more. We are your network for all things floral. Join us at Bloom TV as we help bring beauty to the lives of people and the planet through nature's most beautiful creation, the flower.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was a great show. It was great to be with you this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you. And ladies, I hope you both have a really lovely weekend and week, and I will get busy wrapping some presents. That's what I need to start doing. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.